everyone, Austin here again with another quick play. Today we're going to be playing Double Dragon, specifically the arcade version of the game. We're actually playing this via the Arcade Archives collection on PlayStation 4. This was actually released on a bunch of different platforms under the Arcade Archives banner, but we're specifically on the PS4 version of the game. And this is a classic beat-em-up. This is one of the games that really helped kickstart the beat-em-up genre back in the late 80s. Maybe has not aged the best. It's got a lot of slowdown, and you know, the gameplay is relatively simplistic. But man, I still love this game. It still has great music, and it's a very controllable game because of a few different fighting exploits. Primarily the elbow, and then just your standard kick, which can actually be quite good. So yeah, for anybody just you know, checking this out for the first time, this is my casual series of videos where I just fire up a game and see how we do at it. Now, I haven't played the arcade version of Double Dragon in a little while now, but this is a game I actually used to own the PCB of. I actually, with my first arcade cabinet, I actually had a Double Dragon board, JAMA board, that would just slot right into my cabinet, and so I played this a lot about 20 years ago. And then my second arcade cabinet, about 10 years after that, I got another Double Dragon PCB, and so played it some more. And I've also owned the Xbox 360 version of this, and now the Arcade Archives version. And I played a bunch of the ports that are based on the arcade game, like the Atari Lynx version and the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive version. So I'm very familiar with this game, and so I predict we'll do okay. But yeah, let's actually hit the touchpad here, which under you know, on the Arcade Archives releases actually takes us to our main menu here. I want to actually check out our display settings. Frame of the display off, position of the display, size of the display. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it as is, and I'll just crop the gameplay so it's a little bit larger on your screen. You can actually enable scan lines and stuff like that. I don't recommend it. It doesn't look good on video capture. It looks better in person, but it's still not great. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out my button settings. Let's go to restore. And so it should be kick is the X button. Jump is the X, no, kick is the square button, jump is the X button, punch is circle. Okay, that's pretty much exactly what I want. Now, Double Dragon Arcade has an interesting control system in that, man, I want to say it's like if I'm facing right, I have to press circle to punch. If I'm facing left, I think I have to press square to punch. I think that's how it works. Or am I thinking of Double Dragon 2? I don't remember, but let's go ahead and add some credits here and see how we can do with Double Dragon Arcade. So, alright, your girlfriend gets punched, she gets kidnapped, now you gotta go destroy a lot of bad guys to save her. But alright, so Double Dragon Arcade. Okay, no, so it looks like I'm actually confusing this with Double Dragon 2. And so with Double Dragon 1 is literally the kick button just kicks, doesn't matter what side you're facing, same with punch. Yeah, jump and punch together does your elbow, and you're going to be seeing me do this a lot over the course of the playthrough. So one thing I like to do is, like, I like to elbow and then kick as the enemies get up, and then it'll basically go into this head grab attack, which is very, very useful in these early stages. As levels move on in progression, enemies do start to have more hit points, but on this first level you can really take advantage of your standard kick as enemies wake up. Now, there is an interesting mechanic in this game that not a lot of people notice, but as enemies take damage, they take longer and longer to stand up. So, you know, when you first knock them down, you can predict your standing kick earlier, and then as they've taken a lot of damage, you can actually delay your kick. Now, one thing that's actually interesting about this version of Double Dragon, the Arcade Archives version, is it seems like some of the slowdown was removed. Because even sections like this in the original arcade PCB were, like, really slow. Yeah, it feels like they've eradicated some of the slowdown, which makes this a better version to play than the original PCB. The original PCB can be extremely sluggish. And we actually got ourselves a knife right here. There we go. The knives are very powerful in this game. go ahead and use it on the boss here. So we have an Abobo. Abobos are these big dudes, these big hulking guys. And that's a barrel. You can actually kick the barrels. You can also pick them up just like the enemy's done. And I don't know where the barrel just went. It just flew off the screen. That was odd. You should notice that I'm not really doing a whole lot else in this game. I am just using the elbow. And the reason for that is the elbow has crazy reach. It's got a crazy huge hitbox. It does decent damage. And it basically, you know, makes for an instant knockdown on enemies. Now, if you press the punch button after you've got enemies in a head grab, you can actually throw them in the opposite direction, which is nice. Let's go ahead and use this box. One thing I like about the Master System version of this game is the boxes, I think, say Sega on them. But it's one of the fun things about, like, some of the home conversions of Double Dragon Arcade. One interesting thing about the Master System version is that it's way more faithful to the arcade game than the NES game is. However, I think the NES game plays a hell of a lot better. But to each their own. Double Dragon was a very popular arcade game. There wasn't really anything quite like it before it came out. I think the closest thing was maybe Renegade, which I think was also done by the same company. I think Renegade was Technos, who did Double Dragon, and but Renegade was like almost a single screen game for most of its gameplay. But you can see like a lot of Double Dragon DNA in it. But Double Dragon just took that whole concept to another level with unique level design, and that guy, I think, got caught on the door. I think that's what happened. I don't think the box was still moving, so I don't think the box was an active hitbox or had an active hitbox. But now you can see a lot of slowdowns. Even though I think they eradicated some of the slowdown, it still gets quite sluggish here. Now you could try to bait the guys onto the conveyor belt and, you know, try to push them off, but I feel like that's too risky. So I'd rather just take my time, do the elbow over and over. You don't want to do your standing kick on this guy. If you get a head grab, I'm pretty sure he overrides it. But yeah, the level design in this is very deliberate. I love how the transitions go. You just go right from one level into the next. There's no, like, intermission screen like there is in the NES conversion. It just goes straight in to the next stage. And that part actually still holds up really well with this game. So this guy's got a bat, and you know, I'm not trying to, like, head grab these guys, when there's another, like, when there's another enemy running around with a weapon. As I grab one guy's head, the other guy can come up from behind and just smack me with the bat. Push the screen over so they can't get that weapon. Looks like we just got an extra life, which is nice. Now you have to be careful about using your elbow. You have to press jump and punch together. And if you don't press them both at the same time correctly, you will end up not doing your elbow, and that's always the worst thing. It's just like failing with your elbow and like punching in the wrong direction, which leaves you wide open for a few frames. And ideally, you take as minimal damage as possible in this game. Alright, kick as he wakes up. You know, as long as there's only one enemy on screen, you can actually really rely on this quite well. It's a really nice tactic. So, while a lot of people will say it's all about the elbow, it's not entirely all about the elbow, to be fair. It's like, you know, you've got some options when enemies wake up. And this is one of my favorite options. I actually learned this trick a long time ago when I first owned the PCB. You know, I was experimenting around and, you know, learned I can just kick as enemies woke up, and it was really nice. So, it allowed me to really rip through the first couple levels in particular. So notice that the Abobo will take longer and longer to get back up. When he takes a really long time, you know he's almost dead. Alright, so this is actually a tricky part right here. We have to actually jump over this. That's like a notorious part in a lot of different versions of Double Dragon. Knives, again, are just like super powerful in this game. Now you'll notice that I'm not really using any other weapons. I've ignored the whips, I've ignored the bats. The reason for that is my elbow is just more reliable. It comes out faster, it's got a huge hitbox, and if I want to try to get a 1 credit clear in this game, the elbow is really how I do it. If I start using other weapons, you know, I become much more inconsistent in my play. Now, other versions of the game are different. Like if I'm playing, say, like the Genesis version of the game, or like we were playing the Atari Lynx one on stream a few months back, and it turned out that using weapons was actually the preferred strategy. Because my standard attacks were not as reliable as they are in the arcade game. You've got some other moves as well, like you've got a headbutt, which you'll actually only see me doing by accident. I never use the headbutt intentionally. Basically, you can double tap and headbutt. And yeah, it might be useful, like on Wake Up, kind of like the elbow. But the elbow is just, I think it's better. So, not really any point in me doing the headbutt. You'll only see me do it by accident, not intentionally. And the reason for that is it takes a double tap, but what I think happens is with all the slowdown in the game, I think it buffers your inputs. And so it's very easy to accidentally double tap when there's a lot of slowdown on screen. And then you end up doing a headbutt by complete accident. We're almost at the, well, probably at about the halfway point in this level. No, a little bit farther than that. I think we're gonna actually climb up this mountain, and then we're gonna fight a Green Abobo at the top. Like, Green Abobo was in other versions of the game. Yeah, we have a bridge section right here, too. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, invade the enemy's base. Looks like we got our a health refill right there, which is nice. I wasn't entirely sure if it refilled your health. I wasn't really paying attention on earlier levels, but it looks like it does. So that's pretty cool. So, doing pretty well so far, considering I haven't played this in a while, but as you can see, Double Dragon doesn't really require expert strategies. It's literally just elbow, 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 elbow. It's just, you can do this all game long if you want. So, it's why it's one of those games that I can usually fire up and do pretty well at without having to practice it. And if you've ever struggled with arcade Double Dragon, learn the elbow strategy. Do it. Have like no worry. Just do it. Don't feel like you're cheating or cheesing. It's a part of the game. You're just using the game's regular mechanics and taking advantage of them. And that's really the key to, you know, getting, say, 1 credit clears on some of these games, is just taking advantage of what works and just sticking with that. Now, you can actually fall to your death if you go too far down. You'll actually fall off this this ledge. So, I really don't want to do that, but I also don't want to push the screen over too far, because I'm pretty sure it's going to trigger more enemies, and then potentially the boss fight. So I'd rather try to fight the boss without any extra enemies. Yep, there's the Abobo. I'm gonna go ahead and use my rocks. I can try to kick them. Ooh! Okay, gotta use the elbow. Yeah, the reason I couldn't actually pick up that rock or kick it, because it was just like, there's like an invisible wall on the right-hand side, which is a little frustrating. We actually ended up dealing with that in our KI Gold quick play. There were some arenas where like you don't actually go all the way up against the side wall. There's like an invisible wall. It's like I can't go past this door. Little awkward. It's like in other beat 'em ups you'd be able to go all the way to the right hand side. But alright, this is our last level. And it's got these randomized blocks that push out. And we were probably going to die here a couple of times. Let's see. Oh, yep. there's our first death. Use our iframes to squeeze right through. Unfortunately, my iframes weren't that long, so that was a bummer. We've got some dynamite here. Let's go ahead and throw it. Gonna go ahead and just elbow him. Another guy from behind. Nice. I can't really tell if there's any rhythm or rhyme to these guys' attacks. So that's another death. I've always struggled with this part. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Let's jump. Okay. Oh no! Ha! Wow, this run went downhill real fast. Holy crap. Man. That is just not fair. That is just not fair at all. That is one of the things about, like, the really fast movement in this game, especially without a lot of slowdown, is that you can easily fall down by accident, and that's exactly what happened. If anybody knows of any rhythm or rhyme to, like, the spikes, or the spike poles, that I got hit by, let me know. Drop a comment down below. But yeah, this is our last section, and I don't know if I'm gonna get a continue. Even though I've got 6 credits, I'm not sure if this version will actually allow me to continue. Some versions of the game won't let you continue. So you've got to actually get a 1cc. I know the NES version is like that, 100%. Lots of slowdown, 3 enemies on screen. Plus my girlfriend's up there, she's probably an extra object. Which is probably inducing even more slowdown on this section. Just gonna try to take out all these enemies before I make the boss appear. Wow, there's 3 of them. I don't remember 3. Nothing a good elbow can't handle. Okay, that's our big... Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Let's see. Can we continue? Let's pop in my initials. Game over. Continue. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Well, that's a shame. We didn't get a 1 credit clear because of some really bad mistakes. And I'm surprised his gunshot actually hit me. I was just walking up the screen. And, yeah, he got me. So as you can see, he's got a rifle. And, or a machine gun. And, it'll kill you instantly. It's one-hit kills. It's actually kind of funny because, Renegade, which came before this, actually has a similar final boss. He has a gun that also kills you instantly, so... Now, it's not the hardest thing to avoid, but I apparently wasn't able to avoid it. And that actually really sucks because, had I avoided it, I probably would have gotten a 1 credit clear. So, get back here. Ah, oh well. And that's it, guys. We just beat Double Dragon Arcade via the Arcade Archives on PlayStation 4. May you live happily forever. And that won't actually happen because your girlfriend gets shot to death in the very beginning of Double Dragon 2. Kind of depressing, actually. But as long as you don't play Double Dragon 2, you can pretend like everybody lived happily ever after. But yeah, that's Double Dragon Arcade. I still love this game. I know a lot of people don't really care for the classic Double Dragon games anymore. And the first 2 in particular definitely have a specific stigma attached to them. I think because of some of the jankiness, some of the slowdown and stuff like that. But I still love going back to the first Double Dragon. It's a game I try to run through at least a couple times a year. So this is actually one of my couple times this year I will play through this game. And, you know, it's not too bad to get through it, especially if you, you know, rely on the elbow and very specific strategies. Again, I generally avoid weapons. I will use things like boxes and boulders and the cans on the first level, but, or the barrels. But yeah, the baseball bat and the whip, I don't really bother with. The knife is really good because it does so much damage with just one hit. So I will grab all the knives that I see. But for the most part, it's just the elbow and then occasionally a kick on wake up. You notice, like, I didn't even jump kick once intentionally, like to actually attack an enemy. So in a lot of home versions of this game, like, you really want to rely on the jump kick, like the Master System and NES games. But for arcade Double Dragon, there's a bunch of moves in this that you just don't need. So just elbow and then standing kick as enemies wake up, and, you know, that's pretty much the whole game. But still a lot of fun. I like simple clears like this where I don't have to practice endlessly for days on end. I can just jump in and just have a good time. And that's what Double Dragon 1 is for me, specifically the arcade version. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. I've got some other arcade archives here. I will probably try to do some quick plays of. Like, I have Versus Castlevania. I have Contra Arcade. And I have some other stuff like that that I'm, you know, pretty comfortable with. A lot of the other arcade archives titles I have, though, are extremely difficult, so you probably won't see quick plays of those. But we'll see regardless. If there's anything in particular you want to see me play, let me know. You know, feel free to make some suggestions down below. I've got a list I keep together of games that people have requested. So sometimes I do the request, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the kind of mood I'm in and what I'm feeling like playing. But yeah, drop a comment down below with anything you'd like to see. And also let me know if you've played Double Dragon Arcade, especially anytime recently. I love to hear people's thoughts on these games, so definitely let me know about that too. So, but that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks once again for watching. I guess until the next one, take it easy.